wow, let's actually count these, how many it went through. So it went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 links in a matter of seconds and structured this entire layout. Such a cool in-depth document here. So guys, I'm going to be breaking down the entire installation process and getting this open source deep researcher up and running for free. And once we have this entire thing set up, I'm going to have a couple videos coming soon of this going head to head with ChatGPT Deep Researcher and Gemini's new Deep Researcher as well, to see if this free open source version can kind of hold its own versus ChatGPT Deep Researcher 03 full, or if the $200 is actually worth the money. Because spending $200 a month on ChatGPT research features seems a little excessive. And starting off with our journey, we're going to need a ton of info to go from zero all the way up to hero. So large goal with $1 million, so I'm going to need as much context and as much research as I can get to become a millionaire using only AI tools with no technical background. And I've noticed when there's not a lot of money going in, there needs to be even less money going out. If that's one thing, I'm definitely good at that. So going to need to bootstrap as many things as I can and cut as many corners as possible to make sure we even have a chance at hitting our goals. And ultimately, this feeds right into the knowledge base that we're building, trying to understand these tools. So the more exposure I have to building these tools, the better, right? So let's just get right in. This is a GPT researcher that's going to pretty much go head to head with ChatGPT Deep Researcher and Gemini Deep Research without having to pay $200 a month for ChatGPT research. So I'm going to build this and we're going to see if we can actually make these things go head to head. I know that going into this, ChatGPT research uses 03, whereas this tool is probably going to use 04, but I want to see if it's worth the money. Is it actually worth the $200? I understand that 03 has way larger context window, 200 tokens. Basically blows out ChatGPT 4.0 on pretty much everything. So generation tokens, context window, performance, it's achieved on any of the metrics that you can see. It's just blown it out of the water. But is that actually worth $200 on this journey? So I'm going to try and cut costs as well as I can to try and get this to work. I'm going to put these head-to-head in videos going forward, but let's go ahead and set it up and let's just jump right into it. So you can go to gptr.dev, and this is going to be the website of the open source AI researcher. And we're going to go through GitHub. So the things that you'll need, obviously you'll need to have access to GitHub. I'm going to be using Docker in my case. I'm not going to be hosting this locally. I'm not that exposed to Docker, so we'll see how it goes. And I know a lot of AI no-code instructions are tailored toward Mac users. However, I'm on a busted down Windows machine, so hopefully we can get this to work. So who knows? Maybe I'll get a Mac after we reach the channel goal of $1 million. I know I can probably get laptops for $1 million. 1,100 Macs for $1 million. So let's just get right into it and let's try and see if we can get this thing going. So here's the initial GitHub page for the GitHub GPT researcher. So has some really good documentation, very in depth. You can watch this video if you want. This is basically the breakdown on how this actually works. So we are just going to start right here on this git clone. So open up command prompt, honestly copy and paste this first one. So paste, cloning, GPT researcher, that easy, wow. So we are just gonna go directly down the list here on what else we need to actually do. So I'm going to be actually using Docker, so scroll down a little bit, clone the EMD example file, add your API keys to the clone file and save file as EMD. So we will do cp copy.env.example.env and go for it. Oh, we will need to change missed an instruction, need to change it to cd GPT researcher. And we will need to do cp.env.env. Okay, that should be copied over. And we will need to use either Notepad or Nano, some way to change that documentation. Also, I noticed if you want to not change it in there, you can also Click outside of that, if you're on a Windows R, and type in System Properties Advanced. Okay, and you should get this. Go to Environment Variables, and you can do New and make sure you're saving it as the correct environment variables. For us, I've got Nano. If you want to use Nano, you'll have to have Chocolatey installed and do Choco install Nano, and that should work for you there. But I have Nano already, so let's just get right into it and do nano.env to get into that .env file should show. So you will need to get your API key from OpenAI and go here, create new key. This is in platform.openai, create key, copy. Okay, back to terminal, copy, paste. Next, Tavily AI, this is how the deep researcher will be able to connect to the internet. Have a Tavily account. We're just going to copy this key. I've set up a free account. You'll have 1,000 credits. You can pay as you go as well. So back to command prompt. We've gotten that, and let's go back to the documentation. Go back to Composer, and we're just going to go step by step here. So let's go Docker compose up, and let's see how this goes. We are running, and while this is running, just to recap, Tavily account, ChatGPT account, Docker. I believe there's also, from other documentation that I've seen or comments, they have a remotely hosted version of this. If you're enjoying some of this content, or you're getting some sort of value, or this is helping a little bit, like, subscribe, join the community that we're trying to build here. Or if you got another researcher that you think is better than this one, throw in the comments. I'll try that one out too. It looks like it's done. It took quite a while, so if it's taking a little bit, don't be alarmed. That's kind of the normal. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can open it. So it by default runs locally here, and let's see if we can get it to go. And boom, guys, we're in. If yours is set up correctly, this is what you should get to once you are in, once it's all correctly compiled. So as this channel, it is only right if I put in the correct prompt. Okay, so here we are. It's agent at work, selecting a business analyst. It is generating some text, browsing the web. Wow, this is crazy. It's also giving me questions from several angles. Okay, so I think it's done. It's currently has me a PDF, a docx, or download logs. It's given references here. Let's actually start from the beginning. So I made it pretty general, also in context with the channel here, but I wanted to see kind of where it would go. So it's actually given a lot of context here with a bunch of actual links and context where it got the information. This is crazy, the way it's structured really nicely. Case studies. This is cool. This is so cool. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for tuning along. Like I said, I'm making this just to show the build up to some of the next videos. So I'm going to be putting this head to head. I'm going to ask the same question to ChatGPT, Deep Researcher, Gemini Researcher, and going head to head on seeing how either advanced those tools are, or if they're actually the same, like how much those tools are actually worth, if they're actually worth the $200 a month. So going from zero to hero on trying to learn as much as I possibly can. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully you set this up too. If you have any problems with it, shoot it in the comments, and peace.